Well, that Chili Killer Bomb likes to upload very regularly. Hello, and welcome to a very special video, because this is a video, and that's what makes it special. It's on the Chili Killer Bomb YouTube channel. Before I begin this video, I'm going to make a big announcement. For those who don't know, I help make thumbnails on the CagedStorm YouTube channel. At this point, it's almost like I own 80% of stocks in that channel. So pretty much every executive decision I have a part in. But other than that, today I wanted to do a fun little video. I say fun because this is not professional, as if any of my videos are professional, but professional comparatively to the previous ones, because I'm just simply here to look at some of the thumbnails that I've made for the channel, the CagedStorm channel specifically. I've gathered some and I've ranked them from ones I don't really care for to the ones I really like. And so this is what today's video is going to be about, and so let us go straight into it. Here we have the second episode for Life is Strange. The reason why I've ranked this one very low is simply because I tried to make it look artistically professional, like this weird thing going on. As you can see, you got Max and other character who I'm forgetting name of. I think her name's Chloe. They're in this whatever painting form. I just don't like, I don't know, this is like what you make for your video essay, not for a CagedStorm commentary video about Life is Strange episode 2. This thumbnail is for Emily is Away. This one's ranked low simply just because there wasn't much to do with it. I simply added this text to make it look like it's part of the game. It's not. I mean, looking at it now, it's very obvious. One's low quality, one's high quality. So, I mean, it's the same font. It's not good. Here we have another Emily's Away thumbnail. This one is a little bit better. I just think it's nice to look at than the other one. All I really made changes to was added the bunch of errors in the background, to give it like some sort of style, I guess. But it's not much. I do like the troll face folder on the left. You get to see more of that face. I really do like that face. Here we have a thumbnail for episode 1 of the Undertale series. I really just don't like this one because it's just the ugly. I just think it's like scary ugly. I don't really like it. I think originally when I made it, it was obviously for goofs, for laughs, but looking at it now, I just don't like it. And then I think the other flaw for this thumbnail is that I never fully blacked out the characters in the background. As you can see, you can faintly see them still. They're not fully. They're supposed to look like black outlines of themselves, but they're not. So you can obviously if it wasn't obvious before which character is which, it's pretty easy now. Here we have another Life is Strange one. I don't have much. I don't know, when it comes to Life is Strange thumbnails, I don't feel like I have a lot I could really add on. So we did a little funny. I did a little funny in this one right here. You got Luigi. That's about it. It's just goofs and laughs. Not much else. Just other than that, it's just Life is Strange to me. I don't feel like there's much I can do to work off of to make like a thumbnail that's like, wow, this is it. This is comedy. Here we have a very old thumbnail. I almost forgot about this one until I was looking at it the other day. The Pancakes official game show. This one, you can see, it's a bunch of pancakes. There's, I had a feeling, since this said game show, I put some lights in the background. It don't really fit. Like, it's supposed to look like the outline of a mirror or something, but there's nothing there. It's just kind of weird. And then I don't even know what's going on with the background. Those are just blocks. Those are purple blocks. They're everywhere. Oh, shoot. Here we have Chimpy Chimpa's The Game. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. This one, I'm going to be honest, when I saw this, I think I was just disappointed that I put the Among Us. Something about the Among Us is bothering me. I do not like the Among Us thing. I don't know why I did that. I think the thumbnail is probably good enough by itself. Then I added that Among Us. And frankly, my social credit score is already 0. I'm now in the negative. Here we have one for Fallout 4. This is the 4th episode. Once again, I'm just doing a pattern thing here. As you can see, I have googly eyes, and you'll see more of that in the other Fallout 4 thumbnails, but this one, it's just kind of in the low because I didn't know what else to do with it. It was just kind of simple. This was back when I had the old chili killer bomb aesthetic of putting the thumb up symbol and the weird square with rounded corners at the top left. And that's pretty much, you'll see this a lot in like a couple others. But other than that, it's just an okay thumbnail. Here we have another Fallout 4 thumbnail. I really like this one simply because of the jewel. I don't know why, I really like the jewel. And so when CagedStorm himself told me what the name of the episode was going to be, I was like, I have an excuse to pull out the jewel. And this is it. The whole appeal to this one is the jewel. So here we have the very first thumbnail that I made for the Fallout 4 series. And this one was probably one of the first 5 thumbnails I've ever made. Ever. And I thought this one was just straight to the point. I put googly eyes. And there you go. That's the funny. People are looking for laughs, for goofs. There it is. You didn't have to look hard enough. There's a thumbs up. So here we have the Happy Humble Burgers Farm Episode 2 series. This is different from the demo. See, I did thumbnails for the demo, and then there was a series. And I didn't have any information to work off of, really. I only knew a little bit about Happy Humble's Burger Farm. I didn't really know where CagedStorm was, so I just kind of had fun with it. This one, just some, farm. So there's a farm in the background with a weird filter. And in the very background, you have what's supposed to be a cow, but it's hard to tell. You wouldn't get this unless you saw the very first thumbnail ever I made for the Happy Humble's Burger Farm series. So other than that, this is a very simple one. Although I think the one thing I do like is the Big Burger. Big Burger is currently ruining our country. Here we have another thumbnail for Happy Humble's Burger Farm. I ranked this a little higher than the other one simply because I kind of really like the hands and I don't know, the story behind it. Probably the episode had nothing to do with this, but I just think this is a cool picture in general. You got your CagedStorm driving a car, scared, burger on head, and then you got a troll face. And really, that brings the whole picture together. Here we have the very first episode of the Happy Humble Burger Farm series. And this is where you first see the cow. Still, once again, you can't tell it's a cow until you ever saw the demo thumbnail. But other than that, I kind of like the CagedStorm, like it's part of the street, even though it's not. And then you got the burgers. I think the burgers bother me a little, just because they're just sitting there. Big Burger is ruining this. Here we have the demo, episode 2 of the Happy Humble's Burger Farm demo. And this one, quite lovely, really. Do I need to explain more? Here we have the very first one. See, can you tell? Now see, that's the cow. See, you can now tell it's a cow. But every other thumbnail after that, it would only make sense if you knew that I had this cow picture with the blonde hair. So I hope people saw that, because then nothing else made sense. Milkstorm. Here we have a thumbnail for Five Nights at Sonic's 2. This one, I honestly don't know why this one's ranked so high. I think I'm currently processing where I started the thumbnail and then where the thumbnail began. I'm forgetting what things I added and what's just part of it. All I know is I'm like the green eyes in the background are freaking me out. Like, was that part of the game, or am I insane? I think I will say though, I do like the CagedStorm hyper flame, just coffee. Like that's CagedStorm just either teleporting in or going at fast speeds or just phasing out of existence or just phasing in general. Here we have another Five Nights at Sonic's video thumbnail. This one, I just had to find a picture, and so I had this picture in the background. But really, look at those troll faces. This one conveys a lot of emotion, because if you look at CagedStorm, he's angry, and it's kind of very subtle. You can't really tell that he's angry. You kind of have to use context clues, because there's nothing obvious on the picture that would suggest that he's angry. Here we have another Five Nights at Sonic's one. I think I like the look gasp. I don't even know if I put that there or it just came to be, but this is a nice thumbnail. Here, you could tell this was a really good thumbnail because it doesn't even fit the screen anymore. Here we have the thumbnail for the pizzeria simulator, and this one's actually really nice because here we have a thumbnail for Five Nights at Tubbyland. I actually like this one just because I think I made this originally with the intent of making fun of YouTube thumbnails. And I don't know, this one's pretty good comparatively. Can you tell what's going on? See, that's one of the Teletubbies I can't remember by name. I'm gonna call him Jeremy. And Jeremy he's Illuminati now. That's kind of what the picture's trying to say. And then of course, this was back when I had that profile picture of the bomb. So that's pretty cool. I still like looking at that. That's really cool. This is a cool thumbnail. Here we have another extremely good one because it fits the screen perfectly. Here we have one for the first episode of the Battle for Bikini Bottom SpongeBob SquarePants series. I just like this one because I got to use the SpongeBob font, and there's a bunch of jellyfish. Other than that, that's what sucks is just that was the only time I could use the SpongeBob font. Now the series is over, and by series I mean CagedStorm's not playing anymore, so I'm out of a job. Here we have the second episode of the Minecraft series, back when CagedStorm played Minecraft. That was a time. And here you have everything you need. You have Creeper, Aw Man, and Diamonds. What else do you need? Really? What else do you need? 2 thumbs up? That's a rarity. I think this is the only time I've ever done this. So, really, if this was an NFT, it would be worthless. Here we have the very first episode of the Minecraft series. This one, as you can see, is quite simpler than the other one. You got your Minecraft font, you got your Captain Sparkles reference, you have your thumbs up, and there's only one of them. Now we're starting to enter the territory where I started to put a little bit more effort in some of the thumbnails. Whether they were good or not, that is up to you, the viewer. Here we have the third episode of the Undertale series where I made that blue troll face, took that and put the bucket tool over it. Did really well, good job. And then also I added the font, the little Undertale font, so I made it say CagedStorm is filled with determination. I think it's pretty cool. Too bad the series is over. So for anyone who was watching that series, should have watched like something else. Should have watched like Oprah or something. Here we have the second episode of the Undertale series. I like this one a lot. This one I think is one of the ones where it's simple. It's pretty good. I think this turned out pretty good. The giant sand, the red eyes. It really sends a message. Whatever message that is, probably not ethical. You have big game! Here we have a thumbnail for the game Flicker on Roblox. Now, when it comes to the Roblox thumbnails, I feel like I have a lot to work with. And so you're going to see a lot of Roblox thumbnails here. But for this one, the reason why it's not as high as it is that, I don't know, I feel like a lot of it became a mess. It's still nice, it's still cool, but it's just kind of a mess. There's no real central thing to look at. I do like the little red handprint that's there. It kind of actually looks like it's part of it at first. And I do like the little Roblox dead body. It's just a cool little image. Other than that, it's an okay thumbnail. But just a lot going on. Probably one of those times where too much is happening. Here we have a thumbnail that's moving. Now the actual thumbnail doesn't move itself, but when I first tried to find a static effect for the background, this just started moving, and I can't stop it. That's illegal. But other than that, this was for the very first episode of the Five Nights at Sonic series, and I was trying to be cool and add those little red eyes things, try to make it look cool. And it came out okay, I guess. I just remember that since Tails in the game has like an eye patch, so he only has one glowy eye, so it's like it's kind of cool attention to detail. But other than that, there's a static. Here, this is the thumbnail I pretty much made from scratch. Like, I didn't know, from what I saw of what the game was about, the Watson Scott test, I didn't know what else to really do except just make like this weird just questionnaire thing out of thin air, and that's pretty much what it is. And you got your little faded CagedStorm in the background, and then you also have your troll face. You can never leave home without it. Here we have a nice thumbnail, simply because of the cool little outline. Something about having a colored outline for your video just adds a lot of charm. And so here you have a SpongeBob, Bread, Daniel, and Blue, with Dark Mario at bottom left. This is Nickelodeon also. Here we have a thumbnail for Five Nights at Tubbyland demo on Roblox. This one's really high for two reasons. One, I don't know why this ever even became a video. You can't even hear us in the background. CagedStorm starts playing this really loud music, and I can't even hear myself.
Budget cuts, but I'm sure it won't be that much of a problem.
I like paper
The only
clips.
ones
I
that
like
really
paper clips.
come from that
Try clicking on the coffee, maybe you'll take a sip.
too much of a problem.
I like paper
to get
clips.
made.
I like paper clips.
And as for Nipsey, he still seems to be in a sleep mode. We are working on
I like
getting
his
him to start moving, so that might take
Can't even
a
go
few days. Well, I think that's it.
The only reason why this is as high as it is because that context is funny, and also, I don't remember how I did this rainbow font. I want to bring that back. How? I don't know. Because once again, I don't know how I did that. Now here we're entering one of my favorite series on the CagedStorm YouTube channel, and that's the Elemental Robloxia series. I'm a little biased because I was there, but it was really fun, and there was a lot to work off of. I was always excited when we were making a video for this, because I always had usually the thumbnail in mind, and then just the ideas going off in my head, and I really liked it. This is for the 5th episode, the Lanuru Desert, and as you can see, this is the desert theme. I have the Bass Pro Shops in the background, and then I only have faint memory that there was a part where I had to snowboard, and it was a little angry. It made me a little peeved, and so that's why you see me with the big head at the bottom left. And of course, since CagedStorm is the star of the YouTube channel, he gets a little star in the background. Although you probably could tell that he was the star of the YouTube channel because it's the name of the channel. Here we have number 6 of Elements of Robloxia. This one I liked personally, simply because I drew that picture right there. See that little black outline, little Roblox black outline right there? I drew that. MS Paint. Probably did it in like 5 seconds, so you could tell I put effort. But other than that, I really liked it. The other thing that makes it great is the context of the thumbnail is in that video, I was muted. And you could tell I was muted because I put the mute picture on top of my character. So really, the biggest joke of all is the CagedStorm ability to not check his audio. Here we have Freeze Lake Mountain. This one, of course, because it is a frozen mountain, I had a frozen mountain in the background. Of course, I think this is the first video with the snowboarding, and of course, I was not a happy camper. And so that's why I first added in the Angry Head Chili Killer Bomb, because I was not happy. Here we have Blast Bang Volcano for the 7th episode of Elements of Robloxia. There was a lot happening in this video, and then just in that level in particular. And so there was a lot to work off of. You got a little volcano in the background. You got your shadow people. You have your fire, Yegorb. You also got the Rolling Stones. Do you remember the Rolling Stones? I think that's Rolling Stone. Here we have another Elements of Robloxia thumbnail. This one, I really like this picture because that was the boss battle. So this was the very first boss fight in this series, and that was a really cool making that picture. Next time, I could probably have made it much more professional, much more better looking. But other than that, I mean, you get the drift. You get the drift of what I was trying to do, and it was a shadow temple. And that's pretty cool. Here we have a contradiction. Earlier, I think I said that too much on the screen can hurt, and that's exactly this. But that's not stopping me from putting it high on the list, because I have sovereignty over the video I'm making. And so here we have the Roblox Fun Fair, the second episode. I remember I had this one high only because this used to be one of the highest viewed videos on the CagedStorm YouTube channel before he did the live streams, which changed everything. But other than that, I mean, this one's just nice to look at. I don't know. I just feel like something about it is nostalgic, even though it's not. I think maybe it could be the big oof, could be the death font, could be the skeleton. But other than that, I just really like the series, and so the ones that I really like to look at, the thumbnails, I've listed them really high. Now here we have one of the first thumbnails I've ever made. I don't remember if this was the first one or if it was the second one, but I obviously have to pay respects to some of the first thumbnails I ever made that got me to make thumbnails in general. I think it's been a pretty cool side thing I do, and it's you know, it's bringing perspective. I feel like this is a nice one, very simple. You got this picture, you got the Star Wars font that has nothing to do with Pokemon, you got your thumbs up, you got one of the first CagedStorm just gangster fonts to appear, and of course, to tie it all together, it doesn't fit on the screen. So, thumbs up. Now here we have, for a very recent video, the Roblox Doors video. Now see, I want to draw and enable myself to draw things and put them on thumbnails, and so that's what I tried to do here. And I mean, this one, okay, yeah, but you can tell that's a cupboard, right? That's a cupboard, and that was what I was trying to do. Am I saying that word right? We're gonna pretend I am. And so this is for the one-time Doors episode we did, and that was pretty cool. I got to put in the scary pictures in the background, and of course there's me and CagedStorm, and that was me with my Halloween getup. And other than that, it was just a really fun video to make, and so this is a reasonably fun thumbnail to look at. Now, once again, I am making another contradiction. Earlier, I said that professional-looking thumbnails are dumb, and so, but this is exactly what I did. And so I put this thumbnail up high simply because I just thought, I had the idea in my head and I didn't know if I could do it, but I did. So this is the video, and this is one of the few where I didn't even like put a name up or anything. This was just that. And this one was just a cool video because we were there with friends, and it was me, CagedStorm, and the Big C, and we played 3 different games, and the games were all pretty fun, and it was just all enjoyable. Other than that, I think, you know, for a very simplistic yet complex thumbnail, I wanted to appreciate it, and so that's why it's on this list. Here we have another Elements of Robloxia video. Of course, this was the very first one, and how am I not going to put it high on the list? This was such a great series, and because of that, the thumbnails were all just so joyful to make. You can see here that we had the CagedStorm star in the background, the iconic CagedStorm star, which would continue for the rest of the Elements of Robloxia. And you got all the funny faces, the epic face, you got the troll face, you got here we have the Roblox time travel. Now this one, I'm just nostalgic about it. You know, I think obviously this one is not in #1 just because just the emojis. But other than that, I mean, I really appreciated the first Roblox thumbnails. Like, I think that really like cemented the joy of just making thumbnails. And once again, this is like back when I still had that YouTube profile picture, and this one was just a very simple overall, just, you know, just time travel lobby. Enough said. Here we have the cleaning service video. Funny enough, this video was a mess because there were like people talking, and it was friends in the background. We were all in a call together, and it was just mostly me commenting on what CagedStorm was doing. There were people in the background talking about other stuff, and I just like this one simply because I drew that little picture there, and once again, I just like drawing, and this is an enjoyable thumbnail. You can really convey the cleaning. I mean, this is called cleaning service, and so, you know, you got the CagedStorm cleaning, you got the monster, and there was a monster in that video. So this isn't clickbait. This is an actual video. I'm not lying. Here we have tier list with friends thumbnail. Now this one I put a little bit extra effort, and I always appreciate the ones with a little extra effort. I think this one came out really well. This one, of course, since it was about making tier lists, I tiered list our friends, right? You got the CagedStorm, you got the Big C, you got me, you got other YouTube friends, you got whoever that last person is. But other than that, I really like this. It's about tier list. We tiered ourselves, and you got, of course, ourselves here, CagedStorm, Chili Killer Bomb, the Big C. Really, it was just a cool concept that I imagined in my head, and then I put it together, and it turned out nice. Now, this is the other one, which I think might have been one of the first, but I could be wrong yet again. I guess I could check. I could have checked before I even made this video, because I should have, like, the episode number for the other one. But, of course, this is one of the first thumbnails ever just made as well. And so you can tell just like how beautiful it is. You got a pure yellow background, nothing. You have a dead body. I mean, really, so beautiful. And then, of course, really, what makes this so high on the list is simply the vibing Squirtle on the top left. He's just sitting there. I'm saying I think it's a guy. I don't know. I can't tell. But he's just sitting there. And it's so lovely. It's so joyful. No amount of drugs can ever bring you the happiness that this little animal can bring you. Except maybe heroin. Now here we have episode 2 of the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom video series. I imagined this one in my head because this one was about the King Jellyfish fight. And so I wanted to portray the jellyfish fight. And it did. Can you tell? Can you tell they're fighting? You got the little fighting effect in the background. I'm gonna call that a fighting effect. You got your CagedStorm on the left. You got your King Jellyfish on the right. You have your thumbs up. And other than that, you have the big old episode 2 to remind you this is the second episode of the series. Now here, this is a very legendary thumbnail because this is where I arrived. This is my first appearance I made on the CagedStorm YouTube channel. This was the exact moment I bought 80 stocks on the CagedStorm YouTube channel and basically owned 80% of the channel. And so here, all I did was take the Roblox break-in picture that they have on the game and then slap some stuff on it. So you got me, you got Storm, and then of course you got the little thing that says breaking news. Roblox break-in featuring fellow YouTuber. Really lovely. It was great. I loved it. It was fun. And yeah, if it wasn't for this thumbnail, I would not. Would I even be here? Would I even exist? Would the idea of who I am pursue? Most experts say no. Now here we have a very, very lovely thumbnail. This is for the Gmod video, The Accident, a Gmod horror story. And of course, here we have bringing back the same picture from the cleaning service game way in the background. And here we have me and Storm driving illegally down a road. It's simple yet beautiful. And really, I'm just happy that it turned out as well as it did. I don't know why. I think the monster fits in perfectly in the background. I feel is that the car looks great. The Gmod symbol itself is nice, and of course, because of the horror story is called The Accident, it says accident. So once again, accurate. I'm not fibbing. That's illegal. And then here we have, once again, I've said this probably the third time, and I'm going to say it again. One of the very first thumbnails ever. This might have been the first one. I don't know. I've said that 3 times. So hopefully the third time I'm not lying. But here we have Pokemon Outlaw video. It's so good. Once again, the Squirtle brings it together. One of the first times I used the CagedStorm gangster logo, you got the laughing hard at the bottom left, and then other than that, you got the good old big thumbs up. Really, nothing else you could ask. Not even running water can do better than that. We are on the final thumbnail. Here we have the last video of the Elements of Robloxia video series. I, once again, got to draw the picture, and I was so happy how it turned out. It's so good. I love it. I just have so much fun. I really do when it comes to these things. And so that's really what this was. I was just happy to draw this. As a cool little purple background. It was the finale. I think the one thing I completely forgot though was the star for CagedStorm. Other than that, I really do like this thumbnail. I really like that series, and I really like this thumbnail. This is a lovely thumbnail. I really do enjoy it, and it was once again one of the top videos. And then CagedStorm started streaming, and then that changed everything. But other than that, this is my #1 most rated Snopes fact-checked favorite thumbnail of all time. That's seal of approval right there. Well, that's the end of the video. Sadly, I didn't get to finish this last year, but at least I got something. It was a fun little video. I hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this year I might have more than just one video. I'll do something, and maybe it'll even be a well-edited one. Thank you for watching. Have a friggin' awesome day.